How are we tonight? Ooh, oh, the rain stopped. It was like pouring rain just before. And I'm like, should I go live now? Like, it was pouring. I got a tin roof, so it was like really pouring. So welcome. I'm feeling really called to just do like a little bit of a clearing blessing on this solstice full moon. I've just come out of the full moon ceremony and doing like a full complete DNA generational activation and clearing. It was really quite phenomenal being in there tonight. I know Christine, you were in there as well. Say hi when you join live. I see there's a few people joining live. So I'm feeling really called to share about my Tarot and Oracle cards. Someone actually suggested it to me. They're like, you should do a live stream on all your different cards. And I'm like, that's a great idea. So I just jumped straight out of the full moon ceremony. And I'm like, feeling called to do that now. So I'm going to go through just some of my decks, because I do have quite a few of them. There's some that I use all the time, some that I don't use. Hey Kalia, so let me know if you've got any questions about card decks or anything. Let me know. Let this be an open question and answer on the solstice full moon. I just wanted to talk about the solstice full moon energies actually just for a moment too, because there's a lot of people struggling with it. In a sense, it's like really quite intense, yeah. And like solstice is literally like moving through, it's a bit like a dark moon, yeah. Solstice is like where it's like coming into an end and then we're kind of coming back out again, right? Like we're kind of squeezing through something and coming back out. So there can be lots of grief, like if we think of like coming to the end of a year. And I know we're coming to the end of the year, like literally in the Gregorian calendar, but it's also like coming to the end of like the solstice is coming, it's like the longest day of the year or the shortest day of the year, depending on if you're on the southern or the northern hemisphere. Hey Alina. So it is like a letting go. Like if you really look at the solstices as like a dark moon, yeah. So there's been a lot of people coming into a lot of like anger, a lot of negative energy, hence I was just using the bell, doing a bit of a clearing, and going to do like a bit of a sage clearing as well. As I said, I just come out of the full moon and it was a big generational DNA activation clearing to come into next year. Clean slated, right? So there is hey Medina, there's a lot of people in a lot of grief, and I shared last night as well, so you can do like a bit of a clearing here as well, just allowing yourself to just hear my voice and absorb the energies of allowing the stream to flow through you, yeah, just allowing your aura to be cleansed, allowing that space of knowing, of coming down through each of your chakras, yeah, down through your crown, down through your third eye, down through your ears, down through your throat, down through your heart, down through your solar plexus, down through your sacral, down through your base, and through your legs all the way through to your feet, through your whole aura, allowing this space to be cleansed, to be clear, yeah. Hey Shasha, hey Penelope. See, there's a few people joining live. There's this time of like coming through, and like the thing is with like coming into grief or coming into letting go of something, a lot of people don't truly let go of something. A lot of people don't truly move on because they are not knowing or just don't want to face the grief and the pain, right? Yes, we can move through things quicker and quicker, but when we've been with someone for a long time, or when we've been in a situation for a long time and we're starting to like step up into new paradigms, yeah, like the last full moon, or sorry, the new moon, dark moon was like, okay, anchoring in new paradigms, right? And leading up to this full moon and with the solstice, right, it's interesting, we've got like almost like an opposing energy, yeah. We're like coming into solstice, which is like a letting go. It's the end of something and the beginning of something new, right? But whereas the full moon is like amplifying, it's like where everything comes to fruition and everything's like happening, right? So it's like in this like kind of contradictory space around like a new space, but a letting go space at the same time, right? So if, you know, like there's been like waves where you've just like felt like like a complete nothingness. Like you're questioning everything that you're doing. You're like doubting everything that you're doing, even though you know deep down that it's right. Yeah. Hey, Benjamin, it's like coming into a space of like kind of walking around like purposeless. Yeah. Like what's the point? But it's not like a what's the point energy. It's almost like a like, well, now what? Or there's nothing. Or there's like, well, has this all been worth it? Like, really? Like, do you know what I mean? Like all these kind of questionings coming up. And I want to explain that when we do clearings and we work, you know, move through things and we shift stuff out and we're doing all this stuff all the time, when we do that, what are we doing? We're clearing space. Yeah? Hey, Sky. We're clearing space. And when we clear space, this space at times is really uncomfortable. People don't know what to do with space. We're like, yes, gonna bring on all this new and do all these clearing things and like, let's clear this all out. And then like we have all this space and we're like, well, like it feels like nothing. It feels like purposeless. It feels like, well, is it all worth it, right? And it's kind of like, well, so now what, right? Yes, yeah. It's been like a lot of like not feeling like you can drink enough water as well. Yeah, and it's just like, well, what now? What's this space, right? And I just really want to point out that when we do all this clearing work, right, and we've got space all of a sudden, number one, space always gets filled, right? We clean off a shelf, we're always going to find something to put on it, always, right? There's always something we've got to put on it, yeah? When a vacuum is created in the universe, things come in, yeah? If there is no space, the things that we're wanting can't come in. So it's really important to get comfortable with space, not to freak out with space like we always do, because our human mind, we're like, like we're not going to exist now because there's nothing here, right? This is like the most potent time when you should be writing your reality into existence. It should be a normal for you, yeah? Because with this space, you want to be filling it with things that you want, not worry and doubt and fear and freak out mode, right? When we come into space, we allow ourselves to anchor in a new reality. We allow ourselves to get comfortable in this space of like, okay, cool, like it's okay to have space, yeah? Like we don't have to be so full all the time. Like let's allow space, yeah? Because in space, it's also a very heart space. It's present. It's stillness, it's here. It's a very creative space because there's so many options on the table that you can create with space. When you're so busy and full, there's nothing else can come in, right? So when you've got all this space, it's like, oh, just allow the space. Allow the universe to show you. But it's also your most potent manifestation times where you should, I say should, but it's like it should be normal reality to write it down. Yes, journaling. Yeah, actually writing it down, journaling. Write your reality into existence, yeah? The space is the most awesomest time to have, to be writing your reality, journaling. So you're creating new brainwave patterns that are not freak out mode, yeah? The moon is gorgeous tonight. Yeah, I just come out of the full moon ceremony. Yes, of course, yes. And the universe knows that too, Alina. So, and this is where it's kind of like, okay, you know, and it's kind of like we can worry and be in like, I guess, victim mode if you like, or we can like take our power back and go, okay, cool. What do I need to do now? What are my next steps that I need to be focusing on? Yeah. All right. I'm going to go through and just show you some of my card decks as it was in the, I think I need to turn this around actually. It was actually Carrie that sent me a message and said, you should do a live stream on all your different decks. And I was just come out of the full moon ceremony and I felt like doing it. It was so interesting. It was like pouring with rain and I just jumped on the live stream using the Tibetan bell and then the rain has stopped. So it's really like quiet and clear. It's like, oh, space. Can we be okay with space? Yeah? Presents. Instead of presents for Christmas, presents. Yeah? Give somebody your presents for Christmas. Full, complete presents. Yeah? Okay. So, I don't know, do you guys even want to know about my card decks? I'm like, when she said it to me, I'm like, people even want to know that stuff. But anyway, I feel like I'm sharing. So I do have quite a few. Again, some I use all the time, some I don't. But I'm just going to go through. I do have quite a lot of Doreen Virtue ones. I've had them for quite some time. So I've got the Ascended Masters Oracle deck. And let me know if you guys have got any of these ones. If I pull them out and you've got them, give me a yes or no. This is the Flower Therapy by Doreen Virtue. I don't know if it... Surely you can get these. Yeah, do you have these ones? Yes. Surely you can still buy them. I actually haven't looked. But I know when she changed to Christianity, I was a bit sad because I heard that most of her products weren't going to be in print anymore. And I was like, I really love her stuff. But anyway, these I've had for a long time. So the Flower Therapy, the Ascended Masters, they're Doreen Virtue. Messages from your angels. Also, I'll just go through all the Doreen Virtue ones first. And what do we got? If I put them back, as I get them out, a bit easier. Got the Angel Therapy. I like these ones. Angel Therapy. Mermaids I've had. These ones I've had for quite some time. I was showing these on the live stream the other week. I think this must be the original deck that I had given to me years ago. It was like the first ever deck that I got. And I got it signed by Doreen Virtue as well. At her, I think it must have been at the 2007 Angel Intuitive that I went to. Because this was the first deck that was ever given to me. So my very first deck, well, I was given them to borrow. Like someone lent me their cards and I loved them so much that I went and bought my own. So the Mermaids and Dolphins. So it made sense when I heard about the realms and knowing what realm you're from. Do you guys know what realm you're from? So the realms, let me know if you know what a realm is, or let me know if you know what realm you are from. Because when I did Doreen Virtue's Angel Intuitive in 2007, it was a really powerful thing to know. And I have shared this with you, like, you know, on several of my trainings and live streams about the realms. Say yes or no if you know about the realms, because it's so important to know about your realm. You should know what realm you have. That was your first deck. What, the Mermaids and Dolphins? Give me a yes or a no if you know what realm is or what realm you're from, or if you don't. And I'm going to go into a bit more about the realms in a moment, right? Realms are so important. You should know your realm. You should know what realm you're from. Because if you don't even know what I'm talking about, yeah, okay, cool. You don't know what I'm talking about? How do we know? Okay, awesome. All right, I'm going to go through my cards quickly and then I'm going to go through the realms. Realms are so important, right? Realms are so important. How's my hair's annoying me because it's like, it's back to front. Okay, cool. Okay, awesome. So this one, oh, these are not Doreen Virtue. Let's go through the Doreen Virtue ones first. So we've got the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. We've got 4 of her decks, but you don't know? Yes, not really? Awesome, cool, keep letting me know. So I got the Archangel Oracle cards too. These ones. Hey, Lekka. I've got Archangel Raphael. I love Raphael. Got the Messages from the Fairies. There's another fairy deck too, and I gave it away, and I was just sharing on the, a realm is, okay, what realm you're from, awesome, okay, cool, I'm going to go through that. That's so exciting, yes, let me take you through the realms on this live stream, that's awesome. That's not Doreen either. Archangel Michael, of course. Is that all the Doreen Virtue ones? No, we've got these ones. So the tarot deck, so this is stepping into the tarot, so that Angel Tarot. And by the way, I know I shared a little bit about the tarot on the weekly live stream that I did. That some of the tarots are quite kind of deep, like in a way, and a little bit scary for some people. Like even as I was sharing about the El Goliath, like they're very, I guess they're dark, but they're just deep. Like ultimately they're just deep levels of consciousness. So, you know, if you want to start with a tarot deck, obviously if you feel called, like again, how do you choose your own deck? You trust, yeah, you trust which one calls you. But if you want to start with, say, like a gentle tarot deck, I do recommend, say, like the Archangel. This is one of my favorite, the Archangel Power Tarot deck, or this one, the Angel Tarot deck. They're both by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine as well. I think these are still on the market, but they've just taken Doreen off, and I think they're just saying that they're by him. Maybe they've changed the deck a little bit, I'm not sure. I think Radleigh Valentine was like her son-in-law or something. I'm not sure if that's still the case. Okay, cool. Realms are so important. You guys should know what realms you're from. Well, it's really helpful anyway. So obviously I've got these tarot decks as well. So what isn't, this one as well is Doreen Virtue and James Van Praagh, and this is the Talking to Heaven. This is the specific mediumship cards. So if you're being drawn like to mediumship or anything like that, these are awesome. Talking to Heaven. I feel called to pull one of these right now. I do love these. They're like very straightforward answers from like spirits on the other side if you're doing mediumship readings for somebody. They're very, very powerful. No, maybe this is a message for somebody feeling that this is the case. Now I have no pain, right? You want really clear, direct messages from people who have crossed over to the other side. Now I have no pain. Yeah, something very simple like that, but very, very powerful, because it is something that a loved one does worry about. Yeah, when somebody has passed away. Just for example, feel called to share this for some reason. So something like this as well. I am standing right next to you. Yeah. Very, very powerful. Very, very healing cards. These ones. The Mediumship deck. I love these by Doreen Virtue. Talking to Heaven. Okay, so we've done all the Doreen Virtue. I also have this one. This is pretty cool as well. The Unblock Your Love Blocks. I'm going to pull a card for this too. Let's release a love block right now, right? And if we release a love block, it means we're releasing a block to receiving in general. So receiving anything. Let's see. This is one for everyone on this live stream. What are we needing to unblock from the love block deck? Let's check in, yeah? Let's do a release right now. Oh, this is so interesting. It won't be what you expect, I bet. Ready? Listen. Oh, your son comes to you. Yeah, you want those cards? Yeah, you love them. All right, so unblock your love blocks. This is listen. Listen to others with your heart. I talk about this a lot, right? We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more, talk less. Listen with your heart, because your ears and your heart and your base are very connected. The most powerful thing you can do, that's what I said before, the most powerful thing you can do this Christmas is bring your presence. Not physical presence, presence. Yeah? Listen with your heart. Let's do a little releasing. So listen with your heart, listen with your ears. Listen with your soul, listen. Listen. Allowing the sound to release the energetic blocks. And just allowing one thing to come to mind that you are able to release, to be able to listen more. What is that one thing? I was going to say maybe it's do. What is the one thing you need to do to be able to listen more? What is that for you? So interesting, yeah? The bottom card is your body card. What is it that you need to do? It says how you feel about your body affects how you give and receive love. And it's interesting because I was like, what do you need to release? But then I was like, maybe you need to do something. Maybe you need to meditate more. Maybe you need to exercise. Maybe you need to, like, what is it that you need to do? Or maybe you do need to release something to be able to listen more. Yeah, listen with your heart, right? Christmas can be so frantic and we can get caught up in the like the collective energy, and like everyone's like out shopping at last minute because we think we have to give presents, right? We kind of like get up in our head and we forget like everything else. It's like how can we listen more? Yeah, how can we slow down more? How can we be in our heart more? Yeah. Unblock your love blocks. Awesome cards by Rebecca Lee. There's The Secret Language of the Color Cards as well by Ina Sagal. I do enjoy these as well. I love her metaphysics book as well, more so. I do love her book. I've got the archetype cards. These ones are awesome. This is very much a shadow deck as well. Embracing your shadow parts is very, very powerful. Let's pull our shadow card as well from the collective, right? So we've just done a mediumship. We've done a unblock. I love blocks. Let's see what shadow part that we need to listen to for ourselves that will keep us in our heart. Let's see what comes up for the collective. It's blank and it's upside down. Check it out. You've got a blank slate. Choose wisely and listen with open ears to see who is coming through, yeah? Yeah, you love The Secret Language of the Color Cards. Isn't it interesting? Out of how many cards in this deck, and I pulled the blank one. It's so interesting, right? Allow yourself the freedom to listen to all parts, yeah? Not just focus on one. Isn't that interesting, yeah? And that's a very opening thing to do as well, yeah? Very opening to listen. Like our ear chakras are very much about receiving, opening, listening, and tuning in. And like receiving in general, yeah? If we're like, I think it has to be this way and we just got to focus on this one thing, it's kind of, we're very closed off, right? Nothing else can come in when we're like, no, it's got to be this way. When we can open and listen, we open up the whole table of all the options, yeah? So that's the shadow deck. I've got the Australian bushflower essences as well. I don't use these much anymore. I think once I came into the liquid crystals, I didn't really... That one's upside down, the Fringe Violet. It's very much about your aura. Heals the aura and psychic protection, Fringe Violet. These are really cool cards though, they're so beautiful. Macrocarpa. These are Australian bush flowers. Did I say that? Australian bush flowers. These are all the Australian flowers. Red Suva. Once I came into contact with the liquid crystals, which I know you guys see me use a lot. These are the liquid crystals. I haven't really used the bush flowers much at all because I've been resonating more with the liquid crystals, but you guys always hear me talk about the liquid crystals. So these are awesome as well. I use these a lot. What's that one? Is that green calcite? Letting go. So much about what I was just sharing with our summer solstice, and our summer solstice is literally like the dark moon, yeah? So it's so interesting. We've got these almost conflicting energies of like fully letting go and starting anew, but we've got the full moon where everything comes to fruition and the light is shone on what we need to let go of. Interesting, yeah? So that's the liquid crystal cards. And I do have these ones, speaking of letting go, is the Language of Letting Go, Melody Beatty. These are really awesome card as well. Yeah, the liquid crystal, yeah, how powerful are they? So I love these letting go. I don't actually use them much anymore either, but let's see what comes out. Two has just come out actually. Releasing resistance and initiating friendship. Ooh, might this be a message for somebody to open up? Yeah, so when we open up, again, it's like this way, it's only this way. Like, let's open up to receive, releasing resistance so that we can receive friendships, yeah? It's interesting on the back, they're like, kind of like affirmations, yeah, for each of these. These are beautiful cards as well. There's so many different card decks that you can get, yeah, and that's why it's always important to trust intuition with what feels right for you when choosing your deck, yeah? Like I said, like if you're just starting off and everything like that, the Doreen Virtue, I personally think are quite easy to use. Gentle angels, mermaids, who doesn't like mermaids, right? Also things like the animals as well, so messages from your spirit guides. This is the Stephen Farmer deck, this one as well. I love these ones too, the Soul's Journey. I used these in Tuesday Tarot just last week, and this is James Van Praagh, which is the same author that Doreen Virtue did the combined deck of Talking to Heaven. So James Van Praagh is the mediumship guru, well, guru person. Gift is one of his, mediumship is his. So I've got Elena Fairchild. I've got her Kuan Yin Oracle, and these are beautiful, quite deep cards as well. And these Oracle of the Mermaids too. I love these powerful, deep, sensual cards, yeah? Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of good, isn't it? I guess as an addiction, like cards, right? It's like all these cards. And I go through phases, like I'll buy heaps, and then I just like, especially recently, I noticed that I just wasn't drawn to buying like any cards. Like for ages I was just like nah. And then these came along and I was like, and I just honestly haven't bought a card deck or felt even drawn to buying a card deck for quite some time. And it's interesting, like over the years, how I just go through them and not go through them. And it's interesting because not a bad thing, yeah. It's interesting when we use the cards, and like it's the same with anything that we read, right? We can read tea leaves, we can read clouds, we can read animals, we can read people, we can read colors, we can read clothes, we can read anything. Do you know what I mean? Like everything is a sign. And the thing with like pulling cards is that cards or anything, runes, like stones, like anything, yeah, any reading you do, no matter with what tool you use, just reflects your energy field. Yeah? Change your energy field and you'll get a different reading. Yeah? Really important to remember. And I'm feeling called to share that because some people are like, oh, like, I'm not sure, or like, you know, like constantly going to the cards. And sometimes this can become like an addiction in itself. Like reading the cards is like you're giving your power away to the cards. Yeah. So all these sorts of things are tools to build your intuition. Yeah. So like you'll get intuition. You'll be like, oh, I better pull a card on that. It's like, oh yeah, cool. Confirming what my intuition was telling me. Right. So when we can use them to strengthen our intuition. Yeah. You do runes more than cards, yeah. So when we use these things, it's strengthening our intuition. It's helping us to trust the messages that we're receiving. When we're like, oh my God, I can't do a reading like without my cards, right? It's like, well, you're giving your power away to that, yeah? Your energy field says it all, exactly, yeah? You don't even need something to read. It's like, you know, I can do, and because I have a lot of decks and I've had them for many years and they're like my tools, right? When I don't have the decks and I'm out and about and I'll do a reading, I will get shown like a visual of the card. Like I'll see the card in my third eye and I'm like, oh, this card is coming through. Like I don't even need my cards in the physical anymore. But it's important to remember that you receive the messages, like you are the oracle itself, yeah? I think that's what it says in the Work Your Light deck. Work Your Light Oracle card, Rebecca Campbell. These are awesome too. I did use these the other week in the weekly reading. In the bottom of the thing, it says you are the oracle. It's pretty cool. Really like that, yeah? You have that with the runes, yeah. So, and then the last little bit of deck, I think I've gone through them all, yes, is Raven Falane, and I love these cards. I want to get more of her decks. I really resonate with her work as well. She does all the artwork as well, a bit like the Al Goliath Tarot, did all the hand drawings himself. Raven does all her own imagery as well, like all her own artwork comes on the cards. These are really, really, really awesome. So there's the Oracle, the Messenger Oracle, and then the Dreams of the Gaia. Let's pull Dream of Gaia because it's so beautiful. Let me see here. Okay. I just love these cards. It's interesting because you know how I was saying like I sleep with a deck of cards to get used to them and whatever. And it's not like my hair's really annoying me, sorry. Get on live stream and then do my hair. Can we pull that card? Yes. So it's interesting, like I felt really cold to sleep with this deck. And I felt really cold to sleep with this deck. And it's interesting because, yeah, I'll get a deck and I'll definitely connect with it. And I might, you know, like, but I haven't felt cold to sleep with all my decks like that. So it's interesting. You build a specific relationship with, you know, your card decks and which ones you have to sleep with and not, right? It's not like you have to do that to get used to your deck. No, it's like, again, it's trusting your intuition with what. So these cards are so beautiful as well. Like, you know, all her own artwork as well. It's like there's the water, the fire, so it goes through the earth elements as well with these ones. So more of the fire. Let's see what else. Oh, look, they're all fire cards today. What's so funny? Sleeping with the decks. When I sleep with them, I mean like they're kind of like next to my bed. Maybe on the pillow next to me because I sleep by myself. Yeah. Very, very beautiful artwork on all these. There's dragons in these too. Look, dragons. I love, probably because I like the dragons in these. But yeah, these are really awesome, beautiful ones. It was amazing when the other week did the Entrust Intuition, and I felt called to do, like, we did a land and earth healing through Trust Intuition. I went through all like southern USA. Like, it was really, really powerful, right? It was really, really powerful. It's actually going to be in my book. It's that powerful. And at the end of the ceremony, towards the end of the ceremony in the land healing, I felt called to pull cards from this deck, and the ceremony, it actually dropped us into Atlantis. So like started off through like New Orleans, Mississippi, went through like Oklahoma, and I like dropped. Yeah, you remember. Yeah, you were there. Yeah, you were there. You were. So there was a certain number of us that were called to do that ceremony together, and it was one of the most freaking powerful land and earth healings I've ever done. And it dropped us down into Atlantis, and I felt called to pull a card from Dreams of Gaia, and I only pulled 2 cards, and these were the 2 cards that came out of it: the earth and the water, both dragons, both like the first cards, right? It was just like, yeah, Massachusetts, like there was not, I know, it was so powerful. That ceremony was so freaking powerful. It was literally the most powerful land and earth ceremony I've done. And for these 2 cards to come out of the deck was just like, it was phenomenal. It was mind-blowing. Like, So anyway, that's going in my book. You guys will hear all about it in my book, because it was just literally one of the most powerful ceremonies I've done. Okay. So, what was I going to do? I was going to go through and do something after I went through all my decks. Oh my goodness. How's my mental blank? Oh, the realms. Let's go through the realms, right? Okay, how can you guys not know your realms? Well, I didn't know either in the start, right? So as I said, like, this was my first deck. Yeah, the Mermaids and Dolphins were my first deck. And so that was 2005 when I first had my spiritual awakening, when I first got my first deck, and when all the spiritual stuff started happening after I had my spiritual awakening. Through hitting rock bottom in high-risk drug taking, and there's more to that story that will also be in my book, because I'm not going to share that on live stream again right now. So 2005, in 2007, I did the Doreen Virtue Angel Intuitive, and I'd heard about the realms because obviously I got her little book, so Earth Angels, yeah. And this is like I don't know if it's updated or it's just like an extra, there's more information, yeah? So they're a bit thin and thick, there's obviously more information. So yours was the fairies, yeah. So a realm, right? And this is, I recommend these books just for the fact, especially if you feel like you've never fit in, or you don't feel like, do you know what I mean? Like you've had your place on the earth. If you haven't read these books, like read them, yeah? It's like you find your home, okay? So it's like a pocket guide for incarnated angels, elementals, star people, walk-ins, and wizards. And this is one, more information on incarnated angels, elementals, wizards, and other light workers, yeah? So a realm is like what you resonate with, right? So like for me, and I talk about the Doreen Virtue, the Angel Intuitive that I went to, because I don't know what, there was 500 or 700 people in that conference, and basically like, you know, in a big conference room, Earth Angel Witch, yeah, awesome. And it's like in that space, I'm getting to download, I can hear it in my ear. What am I needing to talk about? Talk about opening our ears. Didn't we just before we just released that block of like opening, what do we need to energetically receive? Okay, that's so interesting. So in the conference, and like we've got like separated, or like there was all these people into like, you know, like there was like a person holding up a sign of like mermaids, or like fairies or wizards, like around the room, and we all kind of separated into where we felt like we fit in, right? After she went through, it was really awesome, because it was like, oh, these are the people like mermaids like me, yeah? Yeah, I can probably share a bit about that too. I actually don't know, but she actually did a live stream on that, actually, Benjamin. So yeah, you can search that. It'll be there for sure. So the realms of the Earth Angels. So it is about, you know, like the fairies or elemental star people. And it is like, so the reason I say recommend reading it is because you also get like, you feel like you're home, like you've got, you resonate with something. Yeah, like when she said about for me, like, you know, I really resonate being a mermaid. Like, I don't like being away from the ocean, you know, like I love being in the water, all of that. Especially at the time, I was like, I would like go and swim out like really deep in the ocean and just like swim underwater and hold my breath and just be underwater for ages. Like, it was like, yeah. So you're whatever you resonate with, yeah. And then when I did all the Doreen Virtue stuff, I learned about like earth angels as well. And then I learned that you can be both, in a sense, like a mer angel, yeah. So you're like half mermaid, half earth angel. And I was like, well, that makes complete sense, right? So it was really interesting. And there's like all these different I guess people, and it's interesting like what it says. Look, it says here, like a ringing sound in one ear, right? It's like most earth angels, though not all, notice a high-pitched ringing sound in one ear, which I just did. The sound may accompany stressful situations or come out of the blue. Many earth angels consider this an annoying distraction, but the ringing is actually encoded information downloaded from the earth angels' realm to help them rise above earthly problems. It also includes instructions and guidance for the Earth Angels' mission. Fortunately, Earth Angels can mentally ask heaven to reduce the volume or pitch of the sound so that it no longer hurts the ears. So you can literally like turn it down like a, you know, like a radio dial, or the old radio dials. Who has the old friggin' radio dials, right? I recommend never turning it off. You don't ever want to shut your organs off because you'll just cause like physical problems, yeah. The Unicorn Oracle, yeah, about 11 years ago, yeah. The Dragon Fair, yeah, so beautiful. So when I read these books, it like helped me to see other people as well. Like I was like, oh, well, that person's like a star person and that person's like a wizard. Like it was like, because she goes through describing all of these, yeah. So like patterns among the wise ones, like elementals, like walk-ins is like, you know how like somebody will have like a near-death experience and they'll come back to life, but they're like a different person, yeah. It's like literally like their soul leaves and a different soul comes in, yeah. So it's like they're called a walk-in, yep. So yeah, when you do hear the ringing in your ears, it is like a download, and it's like be mindful about what information starts coming through, like, you know, like a couple of days after or just after, you know, and just allow yourself to like be mindful of what you start thinking about or what your intuition is like sharing with you, yeah, because you're like receiving the information. So it's like the wise ones, which are reincarnated sorcerers, high priestesses, sorcerers, wizards, shamans, and witches. So that's the wise ones. I'm just going to read this one. This is what I just opened up to. So yeah, so there's all these different ones, right? Let's read this a little bit. So intense. Who's intense? Who's ever been told you're so intense or your energy's intense or so big or whatever, right? Thanks, William. I'll take that as a compliment. So intense, exotic, eccentric. The wise ones glow from the inside. They look like romance novels characters. Romance novel characters, usually with long silky hair, oval faces, and haunting eyes, complete with a lifetime of shadows beneath them. Shaman, yep. Intense. I'm intense too. I get told all the friggin' time. Or too much, which is just not too much. It's just that our shadows, our consciousness, our energy is very strong. Their eyes are penetrating, and there's no point in pretending or lying to the wise ones. Yep. Because truth is apparent to them. Eccentric and flamboyant, wise ones love to dress in flowing garments reminiscent of romantic eras in the past. There's a certain element of mystery accompanying each member of this realm. It's obvious when you first meeting the gaze of wise ones that they know. The wise ones are humans with past lives, which they have learned how they channel their power into miraculous healings and manifestations, including the ability to affect the weather and material objects. When I did the start of this live stream, it was pouring rain. It was so loud, and I just did like a full like clearing with this, and then the rain stopped, and I was like, yes, the rain has stopped now. Of course it has, right? Okay. So affect the weather and material objects through levitation and telekinesis and so on. These are extremely powerful and well-trained magicians of the human race who were called out of retirement from the spirit world in order to come back to Earth for the currently urgent situation on our planet. Their energy is darker and heavier than the other Earth Angel realms. Wise ones have a somber, serious, almost depressed energy, and they're sometimes quite stern. Yep. Yep, I resonate with it too. Got it. In relationships, they're highly opinionated and helpful in a helpful way. They're the stage mums and directors of their friends and families, always knowing the best route for others to take. If someone wants a solid advice, they should ask a wise one. Whereas other realms are new to being human or have past lives where they were incarnated angels and elementals and so on. The wise ones have been human for eons. Like the other earth angels, they feel different. In fact, some wise ones proclaimed, I am different and I'm damn proud of it, right? As one incarnated sorcerer put it, in childhood, I realized I was different and I didn't fit in. And that created difficulty until I finally realized that my uniqueness was a benefit. When we start owning our power, yes? Yep, I wasn't part of the mass or the norm. And when I matured, I realized that this was a positive. Yeah, it is when we really drop into and gain the depth of our gift and what we're here to do. Like we're not born to fit in, we're here to change. Yeah, we're here to create change. For that reason, the wise ones are more comfortable with earth life than those in other realms. Yeah, so sometimes like a star person really struggles with being in body and in life. Yeah, because they're, whereas they're saying here, like the wise ones have had many past lives as humans, so they're kind of getting the gist of it. Yeah, it's not as easy, but it's still kind of easier than other realms. So it says here, they're realistic, compassionate, and patient with people, and they've learned to enjoy their time here. Incarnated sorceress Linda spoke for many wise ones when she said, I know I'm different from other people, but I don't really feel like an outsider because I basically don't care if most people like me or not. Yeah. This detachment from other people's opinion is the hallmark of wise ones. Yeah. For some reason, I obviously needed to share that with you. And this is goes through the history of wise ones. And yeah, it's so interesting. I just want to read this bit. I'm like, okay, obviously people on this live stream are resonating with the wise ones, but there is earth angels, there's star people. So the life path work for the star people goes through all different things. So it just says here life path work for star people. Star people are multitaskers and may not settle for one particular career as their life's mission. They may instead dabble with several careers consecutively or simultaneously. So it says here star people make wonderful Reiki masters, energy healers, massage therapists, chiropractors, and physical therapists. These are very old books, by the way, because there's so many more things than that I could name for a star person. What else? Yeah, I just highly recommend reading these. So incarnated elementals, right? Guidance and suggestion if you're incarnated elemental. So an elemental is from the fairy realm, yeah? Animals. Okay, elementals not described are brownies, sprites, water beings, and tree people. So beings with a strong protection affiliation with trees. It just says here, don't, for elementals, if you can imagine, the fairies or, but no, they're not fairies, they're sprites, they're they fire up, and it just says, don't throw fireballs. Elementals' tempers are legendary, and incarnated elementals are no exception. When you throw a fit of rage, be careful because you're literally throwing fireballs of hot emotion. These fireballs can cause the objects of your wrath emotional or physical pain. Your power is like a volcano when you erupt, so please use caution. It's powerful, right? Because it goes through and it says they're usually redheads. They're usually, even got sort of pointier ears, the elementals that got sort of the pointier ears. Goes through and describes all the physical kind of things that I highly recommend if you haven't. Naughty ones, yes, or naughty ones, exactly, yeah. If you haven't gone through and read or explored what realm you're from, and if you don't know, read the book and you'll be like, yeah, that one, right? So just going to read the little bit of the history of the wise ones, because this first little paragraph, it says the history of the wise ones. So the common denominator of wise ones is the number of years they've logged learning to harness their magical powers. Some developed their own interest in metaphysics, and others were handpicked as children and schooled in the psychic arts. The wise ones have lived as high priests and priestesses in Atlantis, ancient Greece, and Egypt during Arthurian times, among the Mayans, as Essenes, as native medicine men and women. They've witnessed civilizations destroyed and people murdered for their spiritual beliefs. The wise ones know and appreciate the innate darkness within the human ego, but they have an even greater appreciation and respect for the heights to which humans are capable. And this is why they've come back to teach. Yeah? So powerful. Yeah? So powerful. Who resonates with witnessing civilizations being destroyed? This is so interesting that I just started talking about this, yeah? The land and earth healing that flowed through. It was probably about a month ago now, I guess. Yeah, it'd be close to a month ago. I felt called to hold that in the Trust Intuition group. It was so damnly profound. Like, it was crazy. Like I was blown away, yeah? And then the messages everyone else was getting, I was just like, whoa, like this is just phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that soon. It was really, really profound. And dropping back into Atlantis was something out of the blue when we're like healing like current Earth Day stuff, right? It was actually kind of 1960s. It was healing from all the like the Holocaust and all of that sort of thing, that was all the wipeouts, and then this dropping back into Atlantis, something amazingly, phenomenally amazing. So if you haven't read these and you feel called to find out your realm, like seriously, you'll feel like, finally I understand myself. I understand why people don't understand me. Like, get it, right? Really, really powerful. So let me know if that has helped you tonight. Comment below if you've enjoyed this live stream. Tell me how you found it about the elements, or if you're feeling called to find out, yeah? Because there's more than just the wise ones, as I've just shared there. There's obviously the star people that keep jumping out at me. The star people, right? Star people, that's what it says here. Like, yeah, it even talks about, like, you know, who are star people in the famous, you know, famous people that we know. I was just seeing if anything else is jumping out at me. Oh yeah, here we go. So it's like the blended realms, yeah? Blended realms and hybrids. So mystic angels, knights, leprechauns, and mer people, yeah? So like, it's like the blended realms, which is like that, all of that. As I said, like the mer people, I resonate with being a mer angel, wise one. If you feel that you fit into several realms, yeah? Yay, you're so welcome. So glad it helped. Like, yeah, I really, really recommend. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. Especially if you're drawn to this sort of stuff. What books are these? Yeah, so by Doreen Virtue, I'm surely that you can still buy them. She did change to Christianity, but I love her work. Really, really powerful in coming into your intuitive spiritual gifts and being spiritually aware in a human body in a world that's pretty much not yet, yeah? Starseeds, yeah, it talks a lot about star people in these books. So yeah, Earth Angels and the Realms, what is it? Realms of the Earth Angels, kind of like updated, more information version of it. It's a kind of thick thin. Yeah, by Doreen Virtue, highly recommend, yeah. Yes, you're so welcome. All right, awesome. Thanks for joining live. If you think this live stream can help somebody, please let them know. Please comment their name below. The 2019 psychic readings, there's only, what are we today? Saturday. So there's only 6 more days left. That'll close on Friday. So if you want your entire 2019 psychic readings, they are still available, but they will be closing on Friday. So that's to get 13 of, so it's actually 13, yeah? It's not just 12, because the whole thing is like giving you a whole overview as well. And it's so interesting, you know, like 13 is the number of actually how many moons are in a year, technically, rather than going from the Gregorian calendar. So we're already starting to step back into that natural old but natural cycle, yeah, talking about the wise ones and bringing like everything back into balance and what we're even here for on earth. Because after 2019, as we step into 2020, we are stepping into the age of Aquarius, which is the light bearing years. Like, it will be when consciousness like extremely, you know, moves forward on this planet. If you're not doing this sort of spiritual stuff, then, you know, you're kind of going to get left behind, right? I'll pop a link in the comments. You can also send me a private message if you want, Vincent, and I'll send you the link with all the details for your 2019 psychic readings. So you do get 13 audio psychic readings that I do for you, and I also send you obviously a photo of the cards that I pull for each month. So the 13th one is a overview of your entire year, and I don't predict the future. I just tune into the energy, and it's like your guide to be able to use that energy to your advantage, to align to your life purpose, to awaken your psychic and spiritual gifts, to hone your intuition, so that you are able to really hear and open and listen to be able to align to what you are here to do on earth. Because the next 10, 11, 12, 15 years on planet earth, like people talk about, you know, like the Mayan civilization and the, you know, like 2012 and like the whole like end of world, like, but the Mayan calendar, it's like that 2012 wasn't the end of the world, it's the end of the current consciousness of the world. And the consciousness is speeding up, and people like us are being called to step up and be in our spiritual leadership roles, because people are awakening and people need help with that, right? Because otherwise suicide goes through the roof and all that sort of jazz. Like people need guidance and understanding, because as soon as we become awake, we can't go back to sleep. And as soon as we become awake, we have to face reality and we have to feel, and not many people are comfortable feeling, right? So it's people like you and me that are being called to step up into our spiritual leadership roles. So over these 2019 readings, you get like an overview, so you can use the energy to your advantage. And then by the 15th of each month, you'll get sent your month in advance of what's going on with that month, so you get personalized psychic readings every single month throughout 2019. So I'll post the link in the comments. It does close next Friday. So I shall put the link in the comments for you, Vincent, and everyone else. Otherwise, send me a private message. You can scroll on my page and find the link as well for the 2019 psychic readings. So thanks for joining me live. It's evening here, or good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I shall see you again before Christmas. Lots of love to you. Namaste.